guys, Teresa here. It is day 7 of Vlogmas, so we are a week in. I am in a Christmassy dress. I made this dress to wear for Christmas one year. I really love this dress. It's the Nina Lee Mayfair dress. I need to make a point to wear this when it's not Christmas because in my mind it's such a Christmas dress, and I feel like once it's December, pretty much any Christmas stuff is fine anyway, but I don't think it has to be a Christmas dress. It's just like red and gold. It's not particularly like Christmas themes, but it does feel that way, and I thought it would be a good choice for today because I have a Christmassy adventure, Christmas experience that I'm going to be doing later. The first thing I want to do though is just catch you up with what's been going on so far today. So it's about lunchtime. I have done some adjustments on that pattern of the Adeline wrap dress. I'll pop in some footage after this just to show you what I managed to get up to with adjusting those pieces. I did mention about making the skirt a bit wider to give good coverage, and I reread the instructions. It says just to do that for the underskirt piece. So I will follow those instructions and I will do as she says, but give myself a little additional anchor to make sure that I have the coverage that I want. I have been cutting out some squares as well. So I recently made myself and my husband, I should grab mine for an example. These are hand warmers. So the idea is that you pop these into the microwave for 30 seconds and then you can put them in your hands when you leave the house to keep your hands warm on a cold day. This is cotton poplin fabric left over from a shirt that I made myself. And then I also have a couple that I made for my husband using scraps of a coat that I made him. So it seemed fun and appropriate that he'd have these in the pocket of his coat. I will say this is a looser weave. This is a cotton flannel, so brushed cotton. It's not as fine of a weave, and I found that the hand stitches came undone, so I had to do just a little bit of reinforcing. Hopefully you guys can see. I mean, it's relatively invisible, but I did a little bit of reinforcing on the machine of the hand stitch part just to make sure that it stays together, and hopefully we won't have any more openings. But after that, I've decided I wouldn't want to sew with anything that uses more of a looser weave for these. I would definitely make sure that it's either a cotton, ideally quilting cotton. Cotton poplin definitely is a good backup. And I will put in a tutorial of how to make these if you guys are interested, either today or tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be actually making most of these up. So I've been cutting out tons of these little squares, and I just want to show you there's different little fun funky clouds. These are scraps from a quilt that I made myself, the standing tall quilt, and I thought this is a really good fabric for it. It feels really nice and soft, so it seemed the right choice. So I decided rather than making lots of different ones with different designs for different people, sometimes it's just simpler and I think a little bit sweeter to just give everyone the same. So I'm making a load of these for my immediate family. So if you're in my immediate family and you're seeing this, you're getting a spoiler, but you could hopefully still enjoy it when you get this in your Christmas package. The other thing that I'm doing is I am test washing my silk velvet that I have for my Christmas dress. I haven't washed it yet. So I've decided I'm gonna wash 3 different swatches in different methods. So I've got one currently that's going in just like the normal wash and dry, which I'm sure people will tell me you shouldn't do a silk velvet, and I'm gonna find out. I also have a swatch that I'm gonna wash by hand, so hand wash, and then another swatch that I'm gonna do a delicate washing machine cycle and hang to dry. So what I did wanna show you guys, because I feel like there was some concern, and I understand, about me doing the Belemnite dress where the velvet goes in opposite directions, so it'd be on the cross grain for this portion of the bodice. But I'm just gonna show you, so this is nice and smooth this way down. It's so hard to get it to hit the light. Do you know that? And I'm trying my best to show you guys. This one, yeah, it's this direction. So these are in the same direction, and you can see that the color looks pretty consistent across them. And when I rotate this one to go on the cross grain, I honestly don't think that it looks very different. Now, I'm sure it's difficult for you guys to see, but I'm telling you, from when I'm looking at them both in like a bright light and in natural light, I think they look very similar. So I don't think it would be very obvious visually. There'd be the element where it would be sort of feeling a bit sideways, but I don't actually feel put off by that. I don't think it's going to be too easy to tell that. And so I'm still considering the Belemnite dress for sure. So I'll be interested to see how my test version comes out with that, with my fashion fabric. But what I want to do now is go ahead and do my advent calendar. So it's just the marshmallow one today. The 7th is down here. And I have honeycomb and chocolate. That sounds good. That sounds really good. This is a fact for you guys. Do you know honeybees communicate through a series of dance moves? I'm starting to feel like this advent calendar is meant for kids. Anyone else getting that vibe? I think it's definitely best to try and eat it in one go. I feel like that's the best way to go for these marshmallows and get the full balance of flavor. I feel like it smelled more like honeycomb than it tastes like honeycomb. It did taste like chocolate. There was a little bit of honeycomb there in the background. A little bit of sort of extra, just like a honey sweetness. I liked it. It was good. It probably wasn't especially honeycomb and chocolate though. In other news, my husband and I have been chipping away on this jigsaw puzzle. I got to a point last night where I was able to put everything onto the 2 trays that I have for kind of keeping my pieces straight. And I feel like once you've got all the pieces visible, things start to really come together. And the areas that need filling in are getting smaller. So it's a lot more tempting to just go and try and fill in a few pieces. I'll give you guys a bit of an update. So I'm gonna try not to be too wobbly here as I'm showing you stuff, but this has been super fun. As you can see, there's really not a whole lot of gaps remaining, and this is all that has left to go on here. I can see that my husband's clearly been sorting some pieces that go there, but I think what's been especially fun, like I said, there's little things throughout this. So hot chocolate, I love a hot chocolate. There'll be more hot chocolate content coming soon. But I also noticed, looks like here is part of a handwritten recipe for snickerdoodles, one that I have often made for Christmas. I'm not making this year, but I often do make these for Christmas. These are these wonderful, I know these bakery cookies. I have tried making these and they're not the same as when I've got them in American bakeries. These pinwheel cookies, I miss pinwheel cookies. Those are super delicious. I need to try and make those sometime again, but I know that they're not going to be quite the same. It's not quite there yet, guys, but the words that are forming are peanut butter blossom cookies. I'll have to show you when that one appears. But it's just been such a fun thing. I think it's going to be a super satisfying piece to find and put into place. You know, I'm looking for it now. I see it. I see it. Come on, guys. I had to do it. Look at that. So nice. But yeah, this has been really fun jigsaw puzzle, and I'm going to be sitting and working on this a little bit before I head out to my wreath making class, and we'll see how I go. So I'd be very surprised if that jigsaw puzzle is not completed by the end of the day. I wouldn't even be surprised if it's completed before I go out to my wreath making class. So that is the big event really for me for today. I've wanted to make my own Christmas wreath for many years. I really like the idea of making it with like real fresh flowers and foliage, and it's the kind of thing that it is a bit pricey because you make it once and then that's it. It's kind of a wasteful thing, but they are really amazing. And because we don't get a real tree, at least you get a little bit of that smell, at least just on the door as you come into the house, which I think would make me really happy. So I saw last year Jazzy Rose Flowers, which is owned by Lisa Comfort of So Over It. She offers wreath making classes, and I saw them last year, and because my wrist was still pretty bad last December, I didn't think I was up for it, but I kind of made a note for myself for this year. And so I was looking this year to see if they're going on, when are they going on, where are they happening? And one of the wreath making classes is actually at the pub where my husband and I had our wedding reception when we got married 21 years ago. So it seemed like the right place to go. It's a really beautiful country pub in a really nice part of the countryside, not far from where we live. So it's not far to get there, and I know that it's a really pretty place. I know the venue very well, and so I think one way or another I will enjoy myself. I hope to do a little bit of filming if I can. I have no idea if that's going to be possible or if it's going to be just super awkward, but we'll see how I go. I will give you an update on the other side. Things I want to mention about this sleeve piece. So this is the short sleeve, this is the long sleeve. When I look at the long sleeve version, there's a line here that says cut a long straight line for 3/4 unpleated view. So that just goes straight across here. There is also a note here, cut a cross straight line for short unpleated view. So clearly there should be a straight line that isn't there. The other thing is that I'm kind of thinking about the actual circumference of the sleeve, and considering the fact that this is essentially removing that much width, that's going to be narrower, and so I don't necessarily need to do as much of a full bicep adjustment as I thought. I'm going to do away with the pleat anyway because I think it's too fussy with the easy to fray fabric that I'm using, so I'm just going to extend this piece and make more of a straight line. I'm then going to measure it and take away the seam allowance and decide if I do need to do a full bicep adjustment. And the other adjustment that I want to make is that I read in the instructions that apparently there's not a huge amount of coverage going across the skirt, and so she gives you the option of creating some kind of like a tie or something to secure this to the other side of the skirt when it wraps over, or she says you may want to extend it, and I'm definitely just going to go ahead and extend it myself on my pattern piece because I know I'm going to want good coverage, and I may even still end up adding like a thread tie or something to keep it extra secure. Well, it is a pretty grim day. It is rainy, it is super windy. I think it's one of those storms they like to give a name to going on. I passed a woman at a bus stop whose umbrella was inside out. It's just that kind of day, guys, and it's definitely one that I was happy to be inside for most of it, but I can brave the storm to get out here in my car. It's a pretty easy journey, and it's worth it for sure to be able to play around with some foliage and some flowers and make my own wreath. I'm really excited. That storm meant business. I saw some pretty big flooding on the streets. There were a few big trees knocked down, including one that knocked over a lamppost. Yeah, I think it was definitely a good day to be inside, but I've made it here and I am looking forward to making my own wreath and meeting some other creative people. That was so much fun. My wreath is not perfect, but I love it anyway. It was such a fun thing to be able to do that. And Lisa Comfort is such a joy. She is such a genuine, sweet person. It was so nice to get to meet her as a nice bonus. I am going to be braving the storm to get home. I definitely think it's going to be an interesting journey. I'm taking a different route because the one that I came through definitely had some serious flooding going on. Hoping that this route home that I'm choosing will be a little bit better. I'll see you back there. I am really happy with my wreath now that I got home and had a little bit of distance and was able to look at it. I hung it up, but I know that it's not going to show up very well in photos because of course it is nighttime and so it's difficult to actually show. But I will try and show it to you guys tomorrow when the sun is out so you can see a little bit more clearly. I don't want to do too much more tonight. It was a bit of a treacherous journey getting home. Not quite so tough as going in, but I will say I did feel a little bit more nervous and I had my husband on the phone on speaker while I was traveling just so I could make sure that I had somebody there who knew where I was, just in case. But I'm here and I don't need to go anywhere else tonight, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to have some dinner. I want to see what I can do about finishing that jigsaw puzzle and have just a nice chill evening for the rest of tonight. Tomorrow I have another day out planned. I'm hoping to be able to take you guys along. If so, you will see some familiar faces if you watch other sewing vlogs. But we'll just have to wait and see how comfortable people are with filming. But one way or another, I will let you guys know tomorrow what the plan is. Thank you for watching today. I hope you guys have all been enjoying your December. I hope you're all tucked up inside where it's nice and safe and snug. And I'll see you soon. Bye!